So today marks the 25th anniversary of the Silent Hill series when it first got started back in 1999 on January 31st. The very first Silent Hill game is a classic, but a lot of people remember the second Silent Hill game from 2001 more because it had a more memorable plot. It was more popular in general. Um, I think um, I think the original Silent Hill game from '99 sold more than Silent Hill 2 because I think on the PS1, Silent Hill, um, 1 had did, like, at least 2,000,000 sales, while Silent Hill 2 did, like, 1,000,000 sales, and after that, it was pretty much a drop-off in terms of popularity because by the time Silent Hill 3: The Room came out back in, like, '04, um I don't think that game even reached like a quarter mil in terms of sales. So the Silent Hill series obviously started to dip in popularity as the 2000s decade progressed. And on top of that, I mean, the survival horror genre was not as popular in the 2000s as it is in this day and age, which is probably why, Konami is remaking Silent Hill 2 and why they're coming out with a new Silent Hill game. And we still don't have a lot of details on Silent Hill F, but we do know that that game's coming out sometime in the future on current generation game systems. I don't know whether or not Silent Hill F is going to be a PS5 exclusive or if it's going to appear on PC and Xbox Series X. But if they were smart, they'd have it on more than one platform. But the Silent Hill series has been around since I was in like elementary school, and quite frankly, I'm shocked that it's still like, remotely relevant nowadays because it seemed like the series has been dead for quite some time, despite the fact that we had gotten a couple of movies back in the day. We got the Silent Hill film back in 2006, which is like 2 hours long, and then we got another Silent Hill movie. I believe that was Silent Hill Revelation, which came out back in 2012. And between the two, everybody has their own respective opinion on both of those movies. And I guess like the thing about those films that I guess people may have a problem with is that like they're like non-canon for the most part. At least the fans think that those two films are non-canon. And I think that's something that a lot of people, even though when they both came out, they were like cool with the fact that we got actual Silent Hill movies, but the thing is, people wanted something that that stuck close to the video games that we got. And I think we're supposed to be getting a Silent Hill film sometime later this year, and I believe it's supposed to be loosely connected to the events of Silent Hill 2. So obviously like Silent Hill 2 was like, the most popular, installment in the entire franchise, and that was more than 20 years ago. So like hopefully Konami has it in them to put out a new Silent Hill game that captures people's attention and probably rivals the likes of Alan Wake 2 in terms of popularity. But but yeah, it's hard to believe that's been like 25 years since, the franchise started. And and obviously, like Silent Hill for the most part, especially during the 2000s, got overshadowed by Resident Evil series, which was like really popular during the 2000s, especially the mid 2000s. A lot of people loved Resident Evil 4, which I think came out in '05, and it ended up being one of the better installments in the entire franchise, along with Resident Evil 2, which came out back in the late '90s. So I do feel that, like the survival horror genre not being that um, popular back in the 2000s may have hurt Silent Hill, but I look at Silent Hill more as a psychological horror type of game, more than a survival horror. Like Resident Evil is obviously a more of a survival horror game, and Resident Evil for the most part seemingly had more action than Silent Hill. Silent Hill just felt like a psychological horror movie, and I think that's something that added to its appeal was the fact that it was a video game that felt like a horror movie, and that and you were able to suspend your belief while you were playing the game and all that stuff. So it was it was something that really helped, like, the allure and the aura of Silent Hill back in the day. And I do feel that Konami still has what it takes to, I guess, remake Silent Hill 2 and capture, the vibe and the dark, coolish atmosphere that game had. And maybe later down the line, they remake some of the other Silent Hill games that came after that, like 3 and 4, that really didn't get a lot of attention back in the day. But the question is it worth it? Because back in the day, those two games really didn't turn heads. And I feel like Silent Hills 3 and 4 was similar to what the the Resident Evil series became after, like, Resident Evil 5, because a lot of people didn't like Resident Evil 6, and Resident Evil 7 was, I believe that was a commercial success, but it's not as memorable as some of the older titles. But they're in a teens decade. Survival horror genre wasn't as popular, so that's probably why Konami, for the most part, didn't decide to remake Silent Hill 2 sooner. Because let's be honest, this is something that a lot of people feel like they should have done at least a decade ago. But it is what it is. Um, Silent Hill in general looks like it's going to make a comeback, and I do feel that its popularity is going to be bigger than what it was during the early 2000s, because the landscape of gaming is changing. And it seems like, even though, like, action adventure and RPGs are still, like, really popular right now, it seems like the survival horror genre, just a horror genre in general, is going to see a uptick in terms of overall popularity as we progress through the teens or the 2020s decade. But I do feel that I do think that it's impressive that Silent Hill has been around for so long. And honestly, I do think that Konami should do something special for the Silent Hill series during its 30th anniversary, 5 years from now.